Dr. Elena Vasquez first encountered the abandoned cub on the frozen wasteland of Kepler 442b, its obsidian fur matted with ice, and its 6 eyes dimmed with starvation. The shadow maw pup, barely the size of a human child but already sporting, razor-sharp claws that could slice through steel, whimpered as Elena approached. "Marcus, are you recording this?" she whispered into her comm unit, crouching slowly beside the creature that belonged to the most feared predatory species in known space. "Elena, step away from that thing," Marcus Chen's voice crackled through the static. "Adult shadow maws can tear through battle armor like paper. Even the cubs are abandoned," Elena finished, studying the creature's labored breathing. "Look at the thermal readings. It's dying." The Galactic Council had classified shadow maws as Class A extinction threats after their homeworld. Vex Prime had been destroyed in their civil war. These apex predators could hunt in perfect darkness, phase, through solid matter for brief moments, and possessed intelligence that rivaled most sentient species. The survivors had scattered across the galaxy, becoming legends whispered in fear. No one adopted a shadow maw. No one even survived encountering one. Elena wrapped the freezing cub in her thermal blanket. 3 months later, aboard the research vessel Pioneer, the creature Elena had named Shadow sat beside her workstation, its massive form now dwarfing her chair. Where once it had been a starving waif, it had grown into 200 pounds of pure predatory perfection. Its 6 eyes tracked every movement in the lab, but when Elena reached out, it nuzzled her hand with surprising gentleness. "The bonding process defies every xenobiological principle we know," Dr. Sarah Rodriguez observed, keeping a respectful distance. "Shadow maws are solitary hunters. They don't form pack bonds, especially not with other species." Elena scratched behind Shadow's auditory ridges, producing a deep rumbling purr that vibrated through the deck plating. Maybe they never had the chance to try. The first test of their bond came when pirates attacked the Pioneer near the Tau Ceti system. The raiders had disabled the ship's engines and were preparing to board when Shadow sensed Elena's fear. Captain Jake Morrison would later tell the story at every spaceport bar from here to Alpha Centauri. How the ship's lights went out, how screams echoed through the pirate vessel, and how something impossible moved through their ranks like liquid death. The raiders who survived spoke of a creature that appeared from shadows, struck with surgical precision, and vanished before their weapons could track it. When the lights came back on, Shadow was sitting calmly beside Elena, not a mark on its fur, while the pirate ship drifted powerless with its crew unconscious but alive. "It could have killed them all," Elena told the debriefing committee later. But it didn't. It understood the difference between protection and murder. Word spread through the galaxy like wildfire. The human who had tamed a shadow maw. The impossible partnership between predator and prey. Space stations fell silent when Elena and Shadow walked through their corridors together, the massive alien padding silently beside the small human woman. The Zephyrian Empire, conquerors of 100 worlds, issued a formal statement declaring Elena Vasquez the Shadow Walker and granted her diplomatic immunity, the first time in their history they had shown such deference to a single individual. The crystalline hive mind, ancient and xenophobic, requested an audience to study their bond. The warrior clans of Rigel 7, who had never bowed to anyone, lowered their weapons in respect when they met. But it was the message from Vex Secundus that changed everything. "We are the last of our kind," the transmission began, its sender one of the few surviving adult shadow maws. "For 3 generations we have wandered the stars alone, believing our species was doomed to extinction. You have shown us something we had forgotten, that bonds can form across the void between species, that trust can exist even between natural enemies." Elena stood on the observation deck of the Pioneer, watching the stars wheel past as Shadow pressed its massive head against her shoulder. Through the bond they had forged, she could sense its emotions, contentment, loyalty, and something deeper, love perhaps, or its alien equivalent. "They want to meet you," she told Shadow, stroking its fur. "Your people. They want to learn what you've learned." Shadow's purr rumbled through the deck and Elena smiled. In 3 years, she had gone from discovering an abandoned cub to becoming the bridge between humanity and one of the galaxy's most feared species. The Empire still whispered about the human who had dared to show compassion to a monster and had been rewarded with the universe's most loyal guardian. But Elena knew the truth that the galaxy was still learning. Sometimes the most powerful bonds are forged not through conquest or dominion, but through the simple act of refusing to abandon those who need us most. The stars held no fear for them now. Together, they would write a new chapter in galactic history, one built on understanding, rather than terror, on trust rather than fear. After all, humans had always been good at making friends in impossible places.